Yo, this video will help with choosing a ship class and the upgrades that you might use for it. There are 5 main ship classes: Fast, Combat, Transport, Heavy, and Siege. There are more ships listed below these in the shipyard, but will need to be acquired through special means such as real money or rare loot. Before I got into it, I wanted to show in the store at the top right, the dock in the port is how many different ships you can hold at ports. Be sure to save your voodoo skulls in case you're a ship collector so you can buy more slots. Fast ships are the first on the list, which I think is always useful to have an upgraded fast ship simply for traveling around this huge map. As well as always having bar shot on you, since your focus point is speed, and if you take away someone else's speed, they have no hope of catching you. La Creole, Tier 5, is the fastest in this line and can get pretty early on. I get the max speed out of this ship using upgrades to help focus on speed, which are tarpaulin sails, reinforced mast, lightweight hull, and fortified gun ports, which still leaves you with a few slots to customize preferences, such as wanting more combat or protection. I honestly use small hooks on mine with combat crow's nest, specifically for getting fish with this ship. The next recommended fast ship would be the Poltava, Tier 3. This ship is big enough to turn more combat focused, with the speed to chase down your enemies. I'd use all the same upgrades as the previous ship, although I'd add ammunition cradles just to reload faster. And since I'm not normally boarding with fast ships, I just run with all sailors, so even if I lose some crew, my ship won't slow down. The combat line is the best all-around ship to me, but also means it doesn't excel in any areas either, which is good and bad, but if you aren't sure what tier to work towards and you're solo, I think the combat line is the way to go. I think the Black Wind and the Essex are fantastic early game combat ships, both having high speed and maneuverability with solid durability and damage. It has a focus on combat, so using ammunition cradles and incendiary mixture is really helpful for all combat ships. Then there are 2 upgrades such as Iron Ram, if you like to get up close and ram them for extra damage, or getting Fortified Ports for extra cannon range to keep your distance. And to be honest, while starting out, I died a lot, and since I mainly used one ship, at times I would have a lot of loot on me that I didn't want to lose. There is a double hold upgrade that increases your hold by 4,500, as well as reducing item loss by 40%. While that sounds like a lot, you already lose 40% when you die, so it's 40% of 40%, which comes out to losing 24%, which I still think gives me peace of mind. Transport ships are basically trade ships, which from what I understand shouldn't really be combat focused. You want to be able to protect yourself, but your upgrades will either be for increasing your hold weight or speed for faster transporting of goods. If I'm talking about the fast ships, you should know which upgrades are best for speed. As for weight, sturdy frames, double hold, and cellars. It's good to note here that the structural expansion will take an upgrade slot, but give you 2 more, which basically gives 1 more extra slot. This is a fantastic boost for your ship, but the minus 10% maneuverability makes it only useful for ships not needing it, or can justify it with the needed upgrades. If you enjoy trading between ports to make your money and exploring the vast ocean, then transport ships are your go-to ship. Each tier up the transport line will increase its hold size, which I think is the main focus for these ships. Heavy ships are basically beefier combat ships, which means they can hold more cannons and have more durability, but are a bit slower and harder to turn. These excel during bigger fights, either with friends or between guilds. When you're in a pack, sometimes everyone turning randomly can get in each other's way. But if people focus on shooting one side, like a sturdy wall moving together, it can be a deadly force. Some people like heavy ships over combat ships for their durability and armor, but just depends on how people fight that may counter you. Most of the upgrades for these ships will be for durability and armor, at the expense of being slower in speed and turning, which is fine in a group but rough when you're alone. Teak frames, strong beams, fortified ports, ammunition cradles, extra bunks, repair arsenal, and sturdy frames are all good choices for heavy ships. Using the structural expansion is helpful to get more of these upgrades on your ship. Lastly is the siege line, which I think is really fun at times. These ships lob large cannonballs known as mortars, which do a ton of damage, but has a long reload time for a single shot. So you'll be sending a mortar and getting into a new position to either chase down or retreat. I recommend using long-range mortars, swivel mortars, and emergency powder charge as upgrades, with room to customize yourself for speed or durability maybe. At the beginning of the video I mentioned ships that would need to be bought with real money, but also a few that could be obtained with rare items. The Imperial ship line below the mortar line are a few of those ships. You'll see that each one costs Imperial blueprints, which can slowly be obtained by killing Imperial ships. You'll kill a ship and get a few blueprint fragments, and after getting 100, you can turn that into an Imperial blueprint. The Devourer only costs one of those, which is a great ship, but moving up that line, it will require 5, 20, and even 40 to get a ship, which a few people end up using real money instead of spending many weeks grinding for these fragments. All in all, there are a ton of ships, and even more different ways of using them. So hopefully some of this will help with a base understanding of how to choose your ship and upgrade it.